This is the easier-to-read version of Animal Farm by George Orwell, retold and narrated by Sarah Simpson. Chapter 1. Mr. Jones, the owner of Manor Farm, was drunk, again. The truth was he was always drunk. That night he had at least remembered to shut the door to the hen house so a wild animal couldn't hurt the chickens. However, a lot of the time he forgot. The hens would stay awake shaking with fear until the sun came up. It was almost bedtime, so Mr. Jones went into the farmhouse. He drank another glass of beer, then went to bed. His wife, Mrs. Jones, was already asleep and snoring. Once the farm animals were sure that Mr. Jones was asleep, they all went into the barn for a meeting. Old Major, the biggest and oldest pig on the farm, wanted to share a strange dream he had had the night before. He thought that the dream was important, and he wanted to tell the others about it. All the animals respected Old Major, so when he asked them to meet, they all went without asking any questions. Old Major was lying down in some straw on a raised platform at one end of the barn. It looked like he was on a stage. He was 12 years old, which is very old for a pig. He had gotten very fat, and between the extra weight and the sore joints of old age, he had a hard time moving around. The other animals came into the barn and took their places for the meeting. Bluebell, Jessie, and Pincher, the 3 dogs, came in and sat off to one side. The pigs sat down right in front of Old Major at the base of the platform. The hens sat on the window ledges with the pigeons. The sheep and cows came in and laid down in the back. They started to chew their cud. They weren't interested in the meeting. They only came because everyone else was going, and they followed the others. Boxer and Clover, the 2 workhorses, came in together. Clover was a stout, motherly mare approaching middle life who had never quite got her figure back after her 4th foal. Boxer was an enormous beast, nearly 18 hands high, and as strong as 2 ordinary horses put together. A white stripe ran down his nose and gave him a somewhat stupid appearance. Boxer actually was stupid. However, he was a very hard worker and a good friend, so the other animals respected him. A group of tiny ducklings came in and laid down next to Clover. She wrapped her front leg gently around them to keep them warm and safe. Muriel, the white goat, and Benjamin, the old donkey, came in together. Benjamin was the oldest animal on the farm. He was always in a bad mood. Benjamin didn't talk very much, but when he did, he was sarcastic. Most of the animals didn't understand sarcasm. They weren't as smart as Benjamin. Benjamin never laughed. When the other animals asked him why, he said there wasn't anything to laugh about. Even though Benjamin was a grouch, he had one good quality. He was very loyal. His best friend was Boxer the horse, and Benjamin would do anything to help and protect his friend. Molly was the fancy horse who pulled Mr. Jones's wagon when he went into town. Molly, as usual, was late. She was eating a lump of sugar Mr. Jones had given her. She was moving her head around to show off her white mane. She was very proud of the red ribbons Mrs. Jones had braided into it. Everyone was used to Molly showing off, so they just ignored her. The cat came in last. She was very quiet. She looked around for the warmest place to sit and squeezed in between Clover and Boxer. She fell asleep and stayed asleep for the rest of the meeting. The only animal who didn't make it to the meeting was Moses, the tame raven. Mr. Jones kept Moses as a pet, and Moses slept on a perch right outside Mr. Jones's back door. Old Major stood up and got ready to speak. "Comrades, you are here tonight so I can tell you about the strange dream I had last night. I will tell you about the dream in a few minutes, but I need to tell you something else first. Comrades, I have had a long life, but I do not think that I will live much longer. Soon I will die. Before I die, I want to share the wisdom I have learned with you. It is my responsibility to teach you what I know. I have had a lot of time to think over the years as I sat alone in my stall. I understand how the world works better than many of you. Comrades, what is our life as farm animals like? We are treated badly, Work hard, then die while we are still young. On a farm, human beings give animals just enough food to survive, but never enough to really feel full. We work every day for Mr. Jones, but he doesn't share the profits from our work with us. He keeps it all for himself. Finally, as soon as we can't work anymore, we are slaughtered with hideous cruelty. No animal in England gets a day off after he is a year old. Once an animal is a year old, he is an adult and is expected to spend the rest of his life working every minute for human beings until the day he is killed. No animal in England is free. All of us are slaves to human beings. That is the truth. But why does it have to be this way? Are animals slaves because human beings deserve it? Are animals hungry because we can't grow enough food to keep everyone full? No, comrades, neither of these reasons are true. The land here is good for growing food. There should be more than enough for all of us to eat as much as we want. The farm where we live, Manor Farm, could grow enough food to feed 12 horses, 20 cows, and hundreds of sheep. It doesn't make sense that we are hungry all the time. We are hungry because human beings steal everything and keep it for themselves. Animals do all the work, and human beings are the only ones who benefit. We suffer so that human beings can get fat and be happy. It isn't right. Comrades, human beings are the source of all your problems. If we get rid of human beings, animals won't be hungry or overworked ever again. Man has nothing to offer the world. Cows give milk. Hens lay eggs. Dogs catch rabbits. Man can't do anything for himself. Yet he is the Lord of all animals. Our labor tills the soil. Our dung fertilizes it. But none of us see any of the money from the crops we grow. Human beings keep it all for themselves. Cows, how many gallons of milk do you produce in a year? That milk should be used to feed your babies, but it's not. Human beings drink it all. Hens, how many eggs do you lay in a year? Those eggs should grow up to be chickens, but they never get the chance. Human beings eat them before they are even born. Clover, how many foals have you given birth to? You've had 4 babies, and Mr. Jones has sold all of them, leaving you no children to take care of you when you get old. You will never see your children again. What do any of you have to show for the horrible sacrifices you have made? You have nothing except a hungry stomach and a cold bed in the barn. Our lives are terrible, but our deaths are even worse. Most of us aren't allowed to die of old age the way nature intended. I am 12 years old, and I have had over 400 children. I will die soon of old age. This is how life should be for every pig, but it isn't. Every other animal here will have their throat cut and will die bleeding and screaming in fear to feed a human being. You young pigs, every one of you will die at the slaughterhouse by the end of the year. This is what happens to all farm animals: cows, pigs, hens, sheep, everyone. Even the horses and the dogs, animals that human beings think of as pets, are killed as soon as they are inconvenient or cannot work. Once a dog is old and smelly, or a horse can't pull a plow anymore, they are killed. How many loyal dogs has Mr. Jones killed by tying a brick around their necks and throwing them in the pond to drown? Comrades, everything bad that happens to us happens because of humans. If we get rid of humans, we would be the ones getting to enjoy the results of our hard work. Almost overnight, we would become rich and free. So, what should we do? There is only one thing that makes sense. We need to work night and day, body and soul, to overthrow the human race. We must have a rebellion. We must fight a war with humans, and we must win. The rebellion may not happen for a long time, but animals have to keep working and getting ready for the day when the battle will happen. You have to be strong. You deserve to be free. Humans are evil. Humans will tell you that animals and people can work together, but this is a lie. Do not believe them. Man serves the interests of no creature except himself. All animals must work together. We cannot fight amongst ourselves. All animals must be united. All men are enemies. All animals are comrades." Just then 4 rats came out of a hole in the barn wall. When the dogs saw the rats, they started barking and chasing them. Old Major raised his hoof to get everyone's attention. "We need to decide if wild animals like rats and rabbits are our friends or our enemies. We need to take a vote. Are rats enemies or are rats comrades?" The animals voted. Everyone except the dogs and the cat agreed that rats were comrades. Old Major continued to speak. "Always remember this, comrades. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. Never forget how evil human beings are. No matter what, we must never act like them. Even once you have won your freedom, don't pick up human beings' evil habits. No animal must ever live in a house, sleep in a bed, wear clothes, drink alcohol, use money, or trade with human beings. Most importantly, no animal should ever abuse or mistreat another animal. We are all equal. No animal should ever kill another animal." Now it's time for me to tell you about my dream. I had a dream about how good our lives will be once human beings are gone. When I was a baby pig, my mother used to sing me a song. I had forgotten all about that song until last night when I heard it again in my dream. The song is called "Beasts of England." I will sing it for you now. The melody of the song was a combination of Clementine and La Cucaracha. These are the words. "Beasts of England, hear my words, hear these words I sing to you. In the future we'll be happy once the time of man is through. Someday soon man won't control us, he won't starve us anymore. In the future we'll eat many tons of grains that we will store. No more bit and no more harness, no more cruel unkind attacks. All of us will work together, no more whips to hurt our backs. All our lives will be much better once the human's evil's gone. We'll be free and we'll be equal, big or little, weak or strong. Beasts of England, hear my words, hear these words I sing to you. In the future we'll be happy once the time of man is through." The animals loved the song and could sing the melody right away. The smarter animals, such as the pigs and the dogs, learned all the words right away. Even the stupid animals, like the cows and the sheep, were able to at least sing the tune, even if they couldn't remember the words. They sang it over and over again. They would have kept on singing all night if the noise hadn't woken up Mr. Jones. He grabbed his gun and fired it at the side of the barn, thinking someone had to be in there trying to steal from him. Luckily, none of the animals were hurt, and they all went to bed after that.